The Pittsburgh Steelers have had an up-and-down 2025 season, a campaign defined by inconsistency, stalled progress, and a growing sense of frustration that has spread from the fan base to the national media and even into the team's own locker room. Head coach Mike Tomlin, who has been the face of the organization for nearly 2 decades, is now at the center of an intense and increasingly unavoidable debate about the direction of the franchise. Once considered one of the league's most stable organizations, the Steelers now find themselves fighting for relevance, identity, and the confidence of a fan base that has grown tired of the same patterns unfolding year after year. A team that once had a comfortable lead in the AFC North has choked it away in characteristic fashion, slipping out of the playoff picture and raising alarm bells about whether this era of Steelers football has reached its expiration date. The season is not completely lost, at least not mathematically, as Pittsburgh is technically tied for the division lead and a wild-card berth is still possible. But the optimism that typically surrounds the Steelers, even in difficult seasons, has faded dramatically. Instead, there is a palpable tension surrounding the franchise, a sense that the future looks more uncertain than it has in a long, long time. Many within the Steelers community believe the team is trending in the wrong direction, and the fear is that the downward spiral will accelerate if nothing changes in the coming months. Mike Tomlin, one of the most respected and longest-tenured coaches in the NFL, has taken the majority of the criticism. His simple defensive scheme, once praised for its discipline and clarity, has now been labeled outdated and predictable. Opposing offenses seem to know what is coming before the ball is even snapped. The Steelers have become far too easy to game plan against, and their lack of creativity has repeatedly cost them games in crucial moments. For years, Tomlin's supporters defended his coaching philosophy, arguing that his leadership, consistency, and ability to motivate players made up for any schematic shortcomings. But those arguments are beginning to lose weight as the league evolves and leaves behind coaches who refuse, or fail, to adapt. Tomlin's brand of football, which once fit seamlessly with the Steelers' gritty identity, is now viewed by many as an anchor holding the team back from competing with the modern NFL's most dynamic franchises. This criticism has echoed across national sports media, and one of the most direct voices came from Jim Rome during a fiery segment on The Jim Rome Show following Pittsburgh's Week 12 loss to the Chicago Bears. Rome did not hold back. "They damn sure are not looking like the Pittsburgh Steelers," Rome said bluntly. "Not right now. And if they can't win a playoff game, there damn well better be some furniture moving around. What I don't understand is why Tomlin would still be there if the bottom falls out on the season. The buck has got to stop with the head coach, right? Why wouldn't it? It's just gotten way too toxic." Rome's criticism resonated with thousands of Steelers fans who feel exactly the same way. For many, the team on the field no longer resembles the tough, disciplined, smash-mouth franchise they grew up with. Instead, the 2025 Steelers often look confused, disorganized, and overwhelmed, words that rarely, if ever, described Tomlin-led teams during the prime years of his coaching tenure. What alarms fans and media alike is not just the losing, but how the Steelers are losing. Sloppy execution, lack of adjustments, questionable coaching decisions, and a defense that can no longer carry the team have all contributed to the frustration. Players have quietly, and sometimes publicly, questioned the defensive scheme, suggesting that opponents know exactly how to attack it. When your own players start calling out the system, it becomes clear that the coaching staff is failing to put them in position to succeed. That responsibility falls directly at the feet of Mike Tomlin, who oversees every aspect of the team. Critics argue that his message no longer carries the same weight, that his schemes haven't evolved with the times, and that the Steelers have become stuck in a cycle of mediocrity because the organization refuses to make difficult decisions regarding long-term leadership. Even some of Tomlin's biggest supporters have admitted that he has made several decisions that have hurt the franchise. Perhaps the most frequently cited example is his decision to hire Matt Canada as offensive coordinator and then keep him around far longer than anyone felt was justified. Canada's offense stalled the development of young quarterback Kenny Pickett, limiting his potential and ultimately contributing to the quarterback's downfall in Pittsburgh. Many fans feel Tomlin chose loyalty over results, and the team paid the price for it. The same criticism has now turned toward defensive coordinator Teryl Austin, who has remained in his role despite repeated disappointments and an inability to return the Steelers' defense to elite status. The defense still has talented players, some superstar level, but the scheme consistently fails to take advantage of them. The unit has become reactive instead of aggressive, predictable instead of innovative, and stagnant instead of evolving with the rest of the league. Player development has also been a major concern. Draft picks who should be foundational pieces of the franchise have not progressed as expected. Talented young players have struggled to reach their potential, leading fans to question the coaching staff's ability to develop and maximize their skill sets. In the modern NFL, where scheme and player development often matter more than raw talent, the Steelers seem to be falling behind. This slow erosion of development has weakened the roster as a whole, creating a cycle in which the team can't compete with well-coached, modern offenses and highly adjustable defenses. Despite all the criticism, Tomlin's legacy in Pittsburgh cannot be denied. He has delivered consistent winning seasons, playoff appearances, and a Super Bowl victory. He is one of the most respected leaders in the sport, and his ability to unify a locker room has long been praised. For nearly 2 decades, he has been a stabilizing presence at a time when many franchises cycle through coaches at an alarming rate. That stability has been one of the Steelers' most prized organizational traits, and Tomlin's presence symbolized it. But the NFL is a results-driven league, and even the best coaches eventually reach a point where their message no longer produces the same effect. Many believe that time has come for Pittsburgh. Complicating the situation is Tomlin's contract. He signed an extension in the 2024 offseason that keeps him under contract through 2027. This means the Steelers would face a significant financial commitment if they were to part ways with him before the contract expires. Historically, the Steelers do not fire coaches. They are known for patience and loyalty, sometimes to a fault. The organization takes pride in stability and continuity, and firing Tomlin would go against everything the franchise has stood for over the last 50 years. But the pressure to make a change is growing louder, and those traditional values may finally be challenged if the Steelers continue to regress. A mutual parting of ways could be the most realistic scenario, a decision that allows both sides to move on without the stigma of a firing. Even Rome, who respects Tomlin's career achievements, believes the time for a change is approaching. He argues that the Steelers have reached a point where keeping things the same is more harmful than making a difficult decision. Tomlin could potentially thrive with another team, one that aligns better with his coaching style or that needs a strong leader in the locker room. But in Pittsburgh, the relationship feels strained. The expectations are higher than ever, and the patience of the fan base is wearing thin. Many fans feel that this current version of the Steelers has no realistic chance of competing for a championship under the current structure, and they fear that more years will be wasted if decisive action is not taken. The conversation surrounding Tomlin is not simply about wins and losses. It is about the future identity of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Will they remain a team clinging to the past, relying on outdated philosophies and hoping for different results? Or will they embrace the modern NFL, adopting the creativity, adaptability, and aggressiveness seen in the league's most successful franchises? That question lies at the heart of the growing debate. The Steelers need new energy, new ideas, and a new direction. The fan base senses it. The media senses it. Even some players seem to sense it. Pittsburgh must decide whether it will continue down this path, hoping things magically improve, or whether it will finally inject new blood into an organization that has grown far too comfortable with stagnation. One thing is clear, the rest of the 2025 season will determine how this story ends. If the Steelers collapse, the pressure to move on from Tomlin will intensify. If they make the playoffs but fail to win a game, something that has become a theme in recent years, the conversation will become even more unavoidable. And if the Steelers somehow turn things around, showing legitimate growth and adaptability, maybe Tomlin can buy himself more time. But as of right now, the frustration is overwhelming, the concerns are legitimate, and the sense that a major change is needed has never been stronger. Jim Rome's comments reflect a growing national sentiment, but they also echo thoughts that Steelers fans have been expressing for years. Something has to change. Something has to evolve. And unless that happens soon, the Pittsburgh Steelers risk losing far more than games. They risk losing their identity, their direction, and the trust of a fan base that has supported them through generations. Let's hope the Steelers can bounce back and bring joy to all the fans again. Thanks for watching and see you soon.